Hey everybody, it's Robbie from Detroit Driver. Welcome back to another video, and we're going to configure another car today. So when kind of deciding to choose which car I wanted, Lamborghini was the next obvious choice behind Ferrari. Uh, they do excite me as a brand, not quite as much as Ferrari and some of the other hypercars, but I think their technology is super cool, and it's just the raw emotion that seeing a Lamborghini has, I think, is unparalleled to a lot of other things we ever get to experience. So particularly, I wanted to kind of do this one because the Aventador replacement will be coming out soon, which means that unfortunately the Aventador information and configuration stuff will leave Lamborghini's website. So I really just wanted to configure Aventador before that goes away, because I just remember the launch of that car in I think 2012 or something like that, and I just fell in love with it from day one. So we'll jump over to do that, and let's go see what we come up with. All right, so here we are on Lamborghini's configuration website. Now, sadly, I would have loved to be able to spec an SVJ. I love that car, but unfortunately, we only have the Ultimae and Ultimae Roadster left. So I guess this will have to do if you want to put it like that. But we'll just do the Roadster because it looks very similar to the coupe, and of course, if you can take the roof off, then why not do that? So here we'll start with the base option, and let's see what we can come up with. So now the nice thing that I really like about Lamborghini that isn't true with a lot of other brands, I would say maybe Porsche it's true too, is these cars can look incredible in almost any color. And because of that, it's probably going to be very difficult to spec. So as you can see here, there are so many different color options. So we have what, 10 here, plus another 7, and then 6 in matte, and it just keeps going on and on. So shiny and matte, and on and on and on and on and on. So unlike the Ferrari configurations that we did last time, we have way more color options this time. Now on the cars, typically for an Aventador, I've always loved it in orange. The orange with the sort of black, I think looks phenomenal. Also, I really like the green kind of launch specification of the SVJ. I think they nailed it out of the park with that. But let's try and do something different. So kind of as I'm looking over this, I'm thinking more on the blue palette. I know there is sort of the launch blue that we saw. So again, I try and stay away from the launch configurations, not because they're not cool, but I just want something different than that, and that's not as interesting to you to just watch me spec what Lamborghini already spec'd. So let's see what we can do. First off, I know basically no matter what the color is, we're gonna want some dark rims. So I love this kind of design that they have. And I think we want the shiny black. They do have a matte black option, but I think the shiny black just looks so well with these wheels. So we got that. The calipers will probably change based on what color we get. So I'll leave them as black for now. And anything else we want. So at least for the Ultimae, you have kind of this contrast color option that you can do. And again, that'll probably depend on what color we pick with, but you can obviously see here, you can get it without like this contrast color that we have, option that you have here. I don't know what it's gonna spec normally as. Here we can choose a sort of a yellow to complement that, make it highlight a little more, but you can see all the way running down the car, and even in here, you have this yellow stripe. In my opinion, I think it makes the front look a little too open. I like sort of this no livery look better, but that also looks very much like the Aventador S. So I guess the point of the Ultimae would be to make it look a little different. So in the spirit of that, I think we will stick with the accent, even though I kind of like the other design a little bit better. But let's see what else we can spec. So let's go back to the paints. Actually, before we do that, I'm thinking as a contrast color, we're going to go with yellow. I just think it looks so good with so many different colors. But if we spec something and we don't like the yellow, then we can come back and change it. But so to match that, we'll do the yellow brakes. But again, you have all these different colors that you can do, which I think is just really awesome. So now we'll go to the paints. Could go with a bright yellow, which would be cool. Let's see how that looks when it loads. That is cool. I think the yellow is a little different than the other yellow though, so I don't know in actuality how that would be. Again, we sort of have this blue color, but I don't know if it's blue and it's really pretty, but I think with the Aventador, you need something that really, really stands out. I'm going to stay away from red, even though red stands out, just because I think red looks good on Ferraris, and I'd want to kind of save the red more for those cars if I was actually expecting something. Purple, I think, looks incredible, especially with the yellow accents. I think it looks, I mean, this is a phenomenal spec. We'd want to go and change the interior to be yellow as well, which maybe we'll just do right now if we're going to stick with the yellow theme. That way we can actually see what it looks like. So here, it kind of looks like we only have a choice with kind of black as our main color, which is kind of weird, but maybe that's an Ultimae thing. But we'll choose the yellow yellow accent for the interior. Although it would be cool to have like blue with a blue exterior, that could be really cool, but I think we'll stay with the yellow accents for now. And then of course the yellow stitch, but we have, you know, multiple other stitch colors that you can choose from. And then lastly, sort of the seat backing will also make in yellow. So we just got a very strong yellow accented interior. And of course, we will do carbon fiber on the door trims, why not? And then of course the seat belts have to be in yellow. But they have all these different, several different color seatbelt options, which is just really, really, really cool. So I think that's pretty much all we want here. So let's go back and kind of finalize this exterior color. I'm actually a huge fan of this purple. I really, really like it, but I want to see what else there is too, because there's so many color options. I think we ended at, yeah, Sportiva. So there's a matte too. You could do a matte purple, which would be pretty cool. And I think I failed to mention this earlier, that I think matte black also just looks good on every Lamborghini stealth car, Batman style, but again, trying to stay away from that as well. The matte colors sometimes look funky, as you can see on here on the configurators, but we'll see what else they have. Yeah, I mean, just all these colors are so cool. What about a matte? I'm kind of leaning towards the blue spectrum with the yellow accents, although I do like the purple. I don't think orange goes with yellow that well, and green could work, but I don't know if I'm feeling that. So purple works, blue works, and anything in the black gray range. But again, this is an Aventador, and this car is a statement piece. And while it is a statement piece, even if you keep it in like a black or a gray, for fun, I think we just have to go with an absolutely ridiculous insanity color. So the Viola Bast is actually really, really pretty. But as some of you might recognize, this is exactly like the spec of Shmi's new Huracan STO. So I would hate to copy what he did, but I mean, that is a statement color and spec right there. But again, to not copy him, we'll do something different. I think there's this Blu Uranus. I think this looks pretty promising. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I think I like that a lot. Yeah. I think that looks pretty cool. It's more like it's kind of on the teal, but it's definitely on the blue side. It's striking. Yeah, maybe it looks better in person. I do really like the ethos of this. I wish it stood out a little more, but kind of like that green, but I just think that green does not go with yellow at all. So maybe we'll stick with the blue, but I want to vet the whole process and see what our other choices are too. Here's another blue. Oh, that's kind of stealthy without like being black or gray. I think that looks really neat too. Um, Maybe I'm just in the blue and yellow mode because of like the whole like Michigan U of M thing, but we'll see. It's hard not to be, you know. It's I really like the colors in the school, so so let's see. Did that change? I don't even remember if that changed, but oh yeah, because this looks like a matte paint. I think that looks really interesting. But again, the matte looks kind of whack on the configurator. But and then you know, just when we thought we needed more choices, we have all these mattes and shiny colors. Let's see what that is. The blue Glauco. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Um, I think we're gonna go with one of the other blues that we had. I mean, all these colors are just so amazing, but I think for our spec, um, we can go with the what was it? Was it here? Yeah, the Blu Uranus. Yeah, I think that looks that looks uh, that looks pretty good. I think in person this would be super bright, um, super standoutish. Obviously not as much as orange. I think orange on an Aventador is just like that's like the color. Other than some of those crazy like multicolor changing based on the light. I've seen an SV in that, and like, that is just ridiculous. But as far as our choices here, um, I think this does a great job of like standing out. A well put together spec with our yellow accents, and we have this bright blue that kind of um, makes a statement. So you can also see here that we can put up the roof. So obviously, you know, hardtop roof. I think we can change that. Here, yeah. Because I want the shiny roof to match the rest of the shiny black. There we go. Okay. All right. I think that looks pretty good. So let's see if we can get the right view. And again, it's being a little slow, but yeah, you can just kind of enjoy all these pictures of this car. Yeah, there's really not a bad angle of the Aventador, to be completely honest. It's such a road presence, so wide, so low, and of course, you know, doors going up like that is just, I think it's beautiful. Um, so yeah, I think this is our decided Aventador spec. Um, Let me know what you would think, or what you think. Obviously, there are so many other different ways that you can configure this car. We did one. I think this is what we're going to stick with for now. But yeah, you could do orange, green, red, purple, anything in between. And of course, it would look good because it's an Aventador, and I think really most colors would look good on an Aventador. So yeah, I think that's our specification. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm happy we got to spec an Aventador in before the new replacement arrives and before they wiped that completely off the website. It was a dream car of mine ever since it was launched, and I just love to see them every time I get the chance. So thank you so much for watching. We'll do this again. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed a little bit too. Getting to learn a little bit more about me through the way that I'm specking and kind of talking about these cars. So stay tuned for another video. Let me know if there's a specific car you want, but if not, then I'll choose something interesting for next time. And I hope to see you then.